Imagine climbing a remote hill with a friend. You sit down. You put on a strange lead mask that completely covers your eyes. You drink from a bottle, and then you die. No signs of violence. No struggle. No robbery. No clear cause of death. Even stranger, next to your bodies, investigators find a handwritten note filled with cryptic instructions.
What were these men expecting to happen? And why did they wear masks that made it impossible to see? More than 50 years later, this case still refuses to make sense. This is one of the most baffling death investigations ever recorded.
On August 20th, 1966, two electronic technicians left their homes in Brazil. Their names were Miguel José Viana and Manuel Pereira da Cruz. To everyone around them, it looked like an ordinary business trip. They told their families they were going to buy electronic equipment. Nothing about that morning seemed unusual. But 2 days later, their bodies were discovered on a hill known as Vintém Hill, near Rio de Janeiro. What investigators found at the scene didn't answer any questions. Instead, it created a mystery that continues to confuse experts even today. The two men were lying peacefully beside each other. Their clothes were neat. Their money was untouched. There were no signs of a fight, no wounds. No evidence that anyone had attacked them. But one detail immediately caught everyone's attention. Each man was wearing a homemade mask made from thick sheets of lead. The masks covered only their eyes. They weren't designed to protect the face. They weren't built like gas masks, and they offered no obvious purpose. Why would someone climb a hill wearing heavy lead eye masks? Investigators searched the area, then they found another strange clue. A small notebook. Inside was a handwritten message that read, 1630, be at the agreed place. 1830, swallow capsules. After the effect, protect metals. Wait for signal mask. The note looked more like instructions than a personal diary. But instructions for what? No capsules were ever found. No one knew what substances the men had taken. And because forensic science in the 1960s was far less advanced than today, investigators couldn't determine exactly what had caused their deaths.
That missing answer would haunt the investigation forever.
As detectives looked deeper into the victims' lives, the mystery became even stranger. Miguel and Manuel were not criminals. They worked with electronics and radio equipment. Friends said they had become interested in unusual spiritual experiments. Some reports suggested they believed it was possible to communicate with higher beings using electronic devices. Others claimed they had participated in spiritual meetings involving mysterious rituals. Could the note have been part of one of those experiments? Or was someone manipulating them? Witnesses added even more confusion. One woman reported seeing a strange glowing object above the hill on the night before the bodies were discovered. Others claimed to have seen unusual lights in the sky around the same time. Were these sightings connected? Or were they simply stories that grew after the mystery became famous? Investigators could never prove any connection.
And that's where another question appears. If someone murdered the men, where is the evidence? Nothing had been stolen. There were no defensive injuries. No footprints clearly pointing to another person. No weapon, no obvious motive. Yet if this wasn't murder, why did two healthy men die together while following such bizarre instructions? The most important question remained unanswered.
What actually happened during those final moments on the hill? For a moment, forget the masks. Forget the mysterious note. Forget every theory you've ever heard. Think about the families waiting at home. Two men left that morning, promising they would be back soon. No one expected that simple goodbye to become their last. Days later, their loved ones weren't given answers. Only two lifeless bodies, a pair of strange lead masks, and questions that would never be answered. Imagine spending your entire life wondering what your father, your husband, or your friend experienced in those final moments. Did they realize something had gone terribly wrong? Were they frightened? Or did they believe they were only seconds away from witnessing something extraordinary? That uncertainty is perhaps the cruelest part of this mystery. Over the years, several theories have tried to explain the lead masks case. One theory suggests the men willingly took poisonous capsules during a spiritual experiment that went terribly wrong. Another proposes they believed they were about to witness an extraordinary event and wore the lead masks to protect themselves from a powerful flash of light. Some researchers have even suggested accidental poisoning from an unknown substance. And of course, the case has inspired countless paranormal theories involving unidentified flying objects and unexplained phenomena. But despite decades of investigation, none of these ideas has been supported by conclusive evidence. The truth is surprisingly simple. We still don't know. The cause of death remains uncertain. The purpose of the lead masks remains unknown. And the mysterious note has never been fully explained. Some mysteries aren't terrifying because of what we know. They're terrifying because of what we never discover. Two men walked up a hill with a plan. Whatever they expected to happen, only they knew. And they never came back to tell the story. More than half a century later, Vintém Hill continues to guard one of the world's most impossible death scenes. So here's a question for you. If you had to choose just one explanation based on the evidence, not the myths, which theory makes the most sense to you? Tell us your thoughts in the comments.
And if you're fascinated by real mysteries, unsolved cases, and true crime, investigations that still challenge experts today, subscribe to Dark Meridian. Because sometimes, the most unsettling mysteries are the ones that never reveal the truth.